Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for showing up. We are back with our weekly NFL recap. Bretto Boys, Dylan Bretto, Podcast Poppy, hello. And I'm here with the Sand Viper, Stephen Bretto, Big Brother, hello.
Back at it again. 2 days.
2 nights in a row. Wild card weekend. We will not be live tomorrow following Bills, Steelers, and Eagles, Bucks. But we are here tonight to talk about probably the best football game we're going to get all weekend in this Lions-Rams game, as well as the debacle that was the Dallas Cowboys. But right into it. Detroit Lions win their first playoff game in what seems like since before I was born.
1991.
Yep, so 3 years before I was born. They erased that playoff drought. They now they eliminated the longest playoff drought in football. The current longest playoff drought is now the Miami Dolphins, who have not won a football game since the year 2000. And then the second longest NFL playoff game drought or playoff win drought is the Raiders. 2000.
Raiders. Oh, 2002. Damn.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Well, it's been a long time. We're in the current century now with droughts. So
It's been a very long time. So shout out to the Lions for taking this one in. I definitely thought the refs missed that defensive holding call on Nakua.
They call that defensive holding on Puka Nakua.
They called one that was just as like obvious earlier in the game, so you'd think they would call that one. And that was it.
Very interested because the Lions defense, Puka Nakua, probably had like a million.
Ate them up. Ate them up.
And I don't know. Wait a minute. Didn't Tampa beat them?
The Rams
beat them this season. The Lions. Did they play?
Lions. Let's see.
In Detroit.
They lost.
Oh, they
Tampa lost 20-6 in Tampa.
Okay.
But yes, this is where we are. Puka Nakua, 9 catches, 181 yards. Just was eating them alive.
Eating them alive. And whatever he wanted, he got.
Both these defenses didn't play good, but they both got timely stops. Shout out to the Detroit Lions offensive line triple teaming Aaron Donald. And just hoping.
Because you see, as you got closer and closer towards the end, Maher's kicks were
shank.
That last looked like a freaking knuckleball. Almost, I'm like, oh, well, they had the worst special teams all year.
And here we are. It sucks because Stafford was killing them. Stafford was balling. 25 for 36, 367 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was balling and he looked like he was on it. So it sucks to see the Rams lose because of a non-call, but like at the same time, it's really cool to see Detroit finally get their playoff win.
Interesting to see, find out who they're going to face.
Either the Eagles or the Bucks.
The Bucks are facing one of them.
The line for that Eagles-Bucks game moved from 3 to 2.5.
Yeah, it's going to be a shit show.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, that will probably be the lowest scoring game of the weekend.
Maybe because all of these other games, besides this one, all these other games have been ass whoopings.
The Chiefs put like 29.
Yep.
It's all depends because you got the Baker's hurt coming into this game, and Jalen Hurts' finger. He hasn't thrown at practice all week. No AJ Brown. It's it's very interesting to see. We could be looking at two head coaching vacancies in the NFC East by next week.
because we'll get there in a second. But
They made the
Mike
play.
McCarthy needs to have been fired immediately. He shouldn't have not been able to chance to get back to the locker room after that game. You know what? Fuck it. Let's get into it right now. We've covered all we needed to cover on the Rams, Lions, Packers, Cowboys. Packers 48, Cowboys 32. In what is easily the most disappointing football game I've seen all season.
The worst game in Dallas Cowboys history.
And we are here. We got Big Mike himself here. Hello, sir. The honorary Barretto boy, Big Mike.
How are we, guys? My
We
goodness.
are doing well. We are doing well. We were just about to get into this.
I see Steven was like, start the show. Don't wait for Mike. Start the show right now.
Well, that was my call. It was my call.
That was
It was my call. I said, Mike hasn't answered me yet. We're going to start. Mike's going to show up. He's going to show up, and we're going to get to going. Mike, before we even got to here, talk to me about Rams Lions.
Clearly best game of the weekend. But what a game. I feel weird about it. It actually went how I thought because the Lions came out like gangbusters. The Rams weathered the storm. But listen, we were shitting on the Lions defense, but holding them to all those field goals won the game. Holding them to field goals won they bent,
as well as holding Puka Nacua.
As old as holding
that last. Yeah, that
we just said it's like they had a play that was just as similar earlier in the game that they called, and they let this one go. That's just like the consistency of the ref needs to be better.
Nacua was eating them alive.
He was.
That was the only way they're going to stop him. That's the only way they're going to stop him.
Dude, 181 yards.
Yeah, he was killing them. But then they got predictable because he was killing them, and then on fourth down, not fourth down, at the goal line, I'm only going to throw the ball to Cooper Kupp. So, like,
it's crazy because he should have just been like, "Hey, I'm just going to throw it to Nacua."
Yeah, I'm
because
surprised
that motherfucker was always open.
He was hot.
Because I was wondering if McVay was good if they had scored the touchdown in that situation, if McVay would have went for two.
I think he would have.
Knowing it because the Lions would have because there will be either 1 point down and they score a touchdown on their last drive. You go for two. That way the Lions score
a field goal game.
Well, yeah, because of how Maher is. Because you saw every kick got worse and worse. That Maher, as later into the game, all those balls look worse and worse.
That's all I was thinking about.
Point was a knuckle ball, barely.
That's all I was thinking about was every time Maher kicked, I was like, let's see. And they all kept on getting bad.
Unless it was a 60-yard kick, which he never misses those. Never misses a 60-yard kick.
Yeah, go figure.
Anything else? It's a crapshoot. 60 yards.
Never know.
Guaranteed. I was surprised they didn't try it.
Shout out to the city of Detroit.
They deserve this. They deserve this win tonight. They waited for this win. I don't know.
All it took was Eminem to put out a "Please, Matt Stafford, please" video earlier today. He's like, "I was with you when you guys won the Super Bowl. Be with me now." And Matt Stafford did his best. He did everything in his power to play spoiler.
All out. That was a microcosm of his career with Detroit.
Yeah,
he did everything he could.
He got hurt like 3 different times.
He got hurt. He still kept coming out there like Terminator, and it just like he didn't lose the game. They lost, but he didn't lose it. Like
he did everything he had to do. This is why I love Matt Stafford. This is why I will die on the sword of Matt Stafford being a great quarterback, because
Matt Stafford.
it's not his fault. It's not his fault. He played a damn near perfect game. Damn near perfect game.
What I want to know, what's the Rams cap situation heading into next season? Now that they have first round picks again, and the free agency, because you got these two wide receivers, the running back, you have Stafford, Donald, then what are they going to do to buy themselves back in the Super Bowl?
They got to go get some defense. They got to go get another edge rusher or a corner.
Yeah. They have $44 million next year. They have money.
So that interesting to see the free agents that are available at the time. Plus, you know, they love trading the first round picks to a team to get the load up and buy a Super Bowl.
Yep. They have a decent amount of money next year to like retool if Stafford and Donald want to keep it running.
Who else? That's it. It's only Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, it's Stafford. Well, as far as money that's on their books, their big money is only Stafford and Cooper Kupp. Aaron Donald's in the last year of his contract.
If he comes guarantees. Back, I don't think he'll give them a discount though if he comes back.
Well, so he's under contract till 2026. His guarantees are up.
Yeah, but they're not gonna get rid of him.
No. His guarantees are up, so his number against the cap isn't anything.
Yeah. So
it's very little.
So he's free money.
He's free. Yeah, he's free money.
Yeah, because they're gonna have Puka Nakua's rookie contract this rookie year, so he's got 3 more. Kyron Williams on his rookie contract. So you got Matt Stafford if he doesn't retire, and just load up the defense.
You know, they may just convert Aaron Donald's contract next year to roster bonus, because they would save $34 million in cap space by doing that. And then all of a sudden, the world, because salary cap doesn't exist. It doesn't exist to teams that don't want it to exist.
If you don't want it to.
But it does
have a reason to.
The argument that he tried with me earlier this year when I wasn't on the show, we were in PS5. He's like, salary cap doesn't exist. When we were talking about the Cardinals and Kyler Murray, I'm like, no, they can't get rid of Kyler. He's like, salary cap doesn't exist. And I'm like, yeah, well, you know what? Kyler's contract doesn't start till next year. Like, oh.
That's the thing. I thought he was already on his contract, so I was like, "Oh, the salary cap doesn't exist." And he's like, "Nope, it does." Oh, never mind, it exists.
It absolutely.
It would exist for 2 years, and then they would get their money back. But no, if you're on that contract already, and you're that last year the guaranteed money, you can make that not be there. Yeah. It doesn't exist for teams that don't want it to exist. The Cowboys don't want the salary cap to exist. They always make it work.
Depends on where they upload it at. They're uploaded in the front or uploaded in the back. Like Aaron Rodgers' contract always uploaded it in the back.
Exactly. The Saints figure out a way to make the salary cap not exist every year. The Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes doesn't even have a contract as far as I'm concerned. He doesn't have a contract. It's just every year he's like, oh yeah, here, just give me my money. Like the same thing with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow next year, when he's on his contract, it's not going to be a thing because they're just going to use his contract to just sign T. Higgins. So like it doesn't.
I don't know. I think T. Higgins wants to be a one somewhere.
I think he wants to be a one. If he wants to stay and try to win, then he knows what's up. But they'll be able to compete in a competitive offer for T. Higgins because there's like, hey Joey.
And a team that's like a receiver away.
There's gonna be some. The Bengals will be able to compete in a contract.
Out in the.
Yeah, they're not gonna be. You're gonna have to really outbid them to win that battle.
Remember, they have to pay T first, then they got to pay Chase.
So what really is T. Higgins? Like, what teams need him? like as a
Jets,
1 or maybe a
the
2.
Cardinals.
The Jets can use him. He's not going to go to the Cardinals. So they're not ready to win.
Well, that's until they what money they offer. There's always a check.
True.
Yeah.
Remember,
That's what I'm saying.
Mike,
If he cared about winning, he would just stay.
Mike Evans is going to be a free agent if he doesn't stay.
Mike Evans is going to get tagged. You don't
If he
exist.
doesn't, whatever. If Tampa doesn't tag him or he walks away, and then Tampa's got a wide receiver spot opening.
I think Mike Evans is a Chief.
He might be. I don't know.
DJ, hello.
Oh, I've been waiting for this.
How y'all doing?
I'm doing good.
How you doing, Poppy? You doing good, Big Mike?
Great, man. 2-0 today.
Oh man, let me see here. Am I seeing right?
1-1.
Is that Viper?
Oh, Dylan's ready. Dylan's not playing.
I'm ready. I was ready since the second quarter. I was like, there's no way.
Didn't I say this was going to happen?
You did.
Gotta give that man. Gotta give that man.
You just
all look at you like you was crazy.
Everybody else does, but I'll tell you why it happens.
Because I told you it was going to happen. They do this every year. You just didn't sip the Kool-Aid until around 5 p.m. Eastern.
I never said they were going anywhere anyway.
Oh, so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to say we didn't say they were going anywhere. But we all knew they were going to lose, right? We knew this.
Super Bowl picks. We have my Super Bowl picks at the beginning of the year.
Okay. So that's what we're doing. We're just going to overshadow that you thought they were going to win today. That's what we're going to do.
I wasn't the only one.
Okay, I don't care. I told you it wasn't going to happen, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, but you also came from a place of hate.
Yeah,
it wasn't hate. It happened. You see what I mean? There's always an asterisk next to it. It's not hate.
No,
I told you guys.
That's all. So anytime we've ever had a discussion about football, DJ, you have only come from places of hate.
I told you. I said
you said live yesterday, right here on this channel. You said, "Well, I hate the Jets and I hate the Cowboys."
Yes, I do. But I told you this all the time.
Comes from a place of hate.
But you cannot tell me that you thought the Cowboys were going to win. If we look at the tape, I said from the start they were going to be the first 7 seed to do this because the Cowboys always find a new way to lose. Look what they did today.
This definitely is a new way.
Most points ever given up in a playoff game in postseason history.
Wait, now listen. If you would have come out and said, if you'd have been like this, you'd be like, not the same old media narrative. Oh, they always find Stephen A. Smith. Like, if you come out and say, well, the Packers play action, and you come out and say football-wise, okay, then you're not coming from a place of hate. He's like, oh, I think they're going to win because Aaron Jones, and I said it yesterday, the real owner, the real Aaron that owns the Cowboys is Aaron Jones. I said that yesterday.
He did. And he proceeded to show his papers today.
Yes.
But we haven't gotten there yet, so we'll talk about the ownership handover from one Aaron to the other after we spin my wheel. Mike, can you play the music?
We're going right.
Oh yeah, let's go right to this. Yeah,
let's get right to it. I just want to get it over with. I'm taking it on the chin. I'm getting it over with, so we can move on and talk football.
Oh man,
I'm a man of integrity. I'm gonna give the man his W.
So we know what's on the wheel.
Music.
Here we go.
Another one? Another one. DJ Khaled, my ass. Well,
complaining yesterday about ice challenge, everybody getting the ice challenge, so you only did it to yourself.
This is the third gummy bear. This wheel is heavily weighted.
Damn.
And I said this too. I was like, I wonder if he would get
another
gummy. Oh man.
I was thinking to myself today, I was like, I'm going to end up having another fucking gummy bear. And here I am with another gummy bear. So
Well,
I'll make it happen. For it. At least I'll be prepared. An underwhelming wheel spin. An underwhelming wheel spin. Because it's something I already fucking have. I was hoping for something new.
I was hoping for
oh well.
Something new also.
Maybe a hot chip or something.
Oh well. We move. We move. DJ, I got you. Thank you for participating in a wheel spin. I'm a man of integrity, if anything.
Not a problem.
So now let's get to where we want to get to. This is what everybody wants to talk about because the internet does that thing they do where when the Cowboys play, everybody is rooting against the Cowboys. So here we were, and boy, did everybody have a reason to root against the Cowboys because there came a point where I picked the Cowboys, I saw what was happening, and then I was actively rooting for the Packers to run it up. Run it up, and run it up they did. Run it up they did. I text my boss. My boss is
of the Dallas Cowboys.
My boss is a big Cowboys fan. I don't talk shit to Steven about the Cowboys because I know he just sits and loathes during the game. So I texted my boss the suicide hotline number, and then I proceeded to let him know that the Packers were showing poor sportsmanship by running up the clock and running up the score on 4th and 2. And Jordan Love throwing touchdown passes was uncalled for. It was uncalled for. But this Packers team, man, this Packers team showed up today in a game that this was house money. This really was house money for them. Because outside of, I think, the three of us here, not many people were saying this Packers team could have a winning record. And that's something I'm giving the flowers to DJ. I don't know what your opinion was, the Packers, but myself, Big Mike, and Steven here giving us all our flowers now because preseason, when we made our predictions, we all said this was a possibility.
Yeah. Well, I
picked the Packers to win the division.
Yeah, I picked the Packers to win the division.
I had the Packers with a winning record.
Winning record make the playoffs.
Like, this was not a lot of people felt that same way.
Because it was just they had the Aaron Rodgers thing hanging over them.
Yes.
And they're like, no one want to give Jordan Love a chance. I'm like, well, see what he can do. We know the problem is, and then there was a struggle early in the year, but it wasn't from him. Because every week when we talked about it, every Sunday, I'm like, no, their linemen are hurt, and LaFleur is calling terrible plays, those long developing plays with hurt linemen, and he's getting killed. And then the drops were happening on him consistently. And then Thanksgiving came, and they learned how to catch, and they learned how to execute properly, and they got Elton Jenkins back and the linemen healthy.
And then towards the end of the season, getting Aaron Jones back from the hamstring that killed him in real life and killed me in fantasy. And he looked like a baller. And he was a baller. And all of a sudden, because our biggest point with the Packers up until about Thanksgiving was the Packers looked like they didn't have an identity. Because they couldn't get the ball down the field. They couldn't run the ball with A.J. Dillon and the other back that was there. They couldn't figure it out. Once they started getting those pieces back, we're like, oh, this is what this Packers team it can be. And it could be a very exciting young team. And then Jordan Love took like this big step after Thanksgiving where all of a sudden this guy is just fucking awesome. It wasn't just he was like, oh, he figured it out. It's no, he went from figuring it out to fucking awesome.
And then the receivers starting to be able to catch the ball and then develop further. They are the youngest team in the NFL.
So shout out to them for playing with house money and going into Jerry World and kicking their teeth in. Definitely made a very easy decision for Jerry to go into this offseason as far as moving on. Dan Quinn also deserves to get a lot of shit today.
Dan Quinn, that's a fireable offense too. You both got to go now. That was he was playing man. He played man defense the whole season.
Why that? Yes, thank you. But to be fair,
they were getting cooked.
The big plays on the right side of the field that happened, I don't know, every quarter, where there was just somebody open along the right sideline, were all man.
They were so scared of play action, they were in zone, and everybody was wide open.
Like Stephon Diggs got cooked by Dobbs on that play. Cooked.
Yeah, because I'm like running with Dobbs, and then he's not even looking at Dobbs no more, and then Dobbs does that little thing, and then goes.
Gone.
I'm like, what is Gilmore looking at? He stopped to look at the fucking quarterback, and then they turn around and they're right side. It's like they didn't understand, like they weren't prepared at any level to come in the game. Like, and Mike McCarthy offensively, don't get me started on him. Like, what did you guys practice? Did you guys watch film on the Packers? I feel like we've done more fucking film breakdowns of the fucking Packers and how they play. We could have done a better job. Like, what are you doing? They can't stop. What Packers struggled on defense is the middle of the field. Ferguson should have been the main focus of the game. That's where all the attack should have went.
And Anthony went in there trying to just shit on Dak and put this whole game was on Dak. And the Packers punted twice. And the only reason they punted twice was because they benched all their starters and they ended up punting.
It's like,
and
okay.
One punt at the beginning of the game. One.
The Packers got the ball first and the defense is on the field, right? It's the defense's job to stop them. So then you're down 7-0.
Like Dak threw one touchdown to them. That means your defense still gave up 40-something points. The defense still gave up 41.
I think what it came to this game is that Dallas did not expect to be punched in the mouth like they did right from the start. They thought they was going to just lackadaisical move into this game. We've got this. They're a 7 seed. They didn't think nothing of them. And before they blinked, it was 27-0.
And
it literally was.
Who do you blame that on? That's not being prepared. That starts.
Honestly, it's not about being prepared. Listen, you play football. You never take down your opponent. They made the playoffs for a reason. Take it seriously. And you being the Dallas Cowboys, knowing the whole world is watching you, get it together. I'm sorry. There's no excuse here. It falls on both. Because I think, honestly, what happened with that first drive, the first drive took about 8 minutes. So already you had Dak Prescott ready to get out on that field. He was sitting there for a good 8 minutes. Then when he got on there, them stars got big and bright down in the deeper heart of Texas. Because, I got to do something. And they were so out of their realm. CeeDee Lamb, the number one wide receiver all season with like 200 catches, it seems like, during the season. You're out of sync with this guy.
Jair had one of those games where I never really know how to properly diagnose or evaluate Jair Alexander's game, because there are some games where he just gets cooked by just some nobody. And then he matches up well with these elite receivers. Like, I don't understand him. He is this big ass anomaly.
Making a play, basically taking the ball from Brandon Cooks.
Yeah. And at first I saw that. I was like, that's got to be a PI or something. I'm like,
no,
that was clean.
That
was a great play.
The thing about
it was top tier plays
under Mike McCarthy, they'd always do bonehead penalties. I'm saying they're right. Those penalties are right. They're boneheaded penalties. They always commit. Like, they deserve to be called. Like, that's another thing. You shoot yourselves in the foot. You get them on a 3rd and long. You do a defensive holding that's unnecessary. It's a 3rd and 8 and in the fucking red zone. You go offsides. Now it's 32. Guess what? It's a touchdown. It's just dumb penalties. You can't do that.
Everything with the Cowboys, everybody knows you can run on the Cowboys. Like, that's the worst kept secret in the NFL.
Yes.
You have a man that literally owns AT&T Stadium on the other side. What did you think was going to happen?
They have no linebackers.
Mekhi Parsons and a bunch of friends. That's pretty much it. That's all you have over
Anthony
there.
the whole time was saying, "Oh, there's so much time left," and I was like, "You are not watching the same game that I'm watching." All this time in the world, the Cowboys are scoring touchdowns. Not great. So are the Packers.
Yeah, well, you can have all the time left. You can have all the time left, but the defense still has to make one stop. If they come out of halftime and they're going touchdown for touchdown, it's not going to help.
Right.
It means nothing. Like I said, the answer.
You're pissing into a fan. That's it. You're pissing into a fan.
The answer to today's question is why did they lose? Is all of the above. All of the above. That's why they lost. The coaching was abysmal. They got completely embarrassingly outcoached.
Outcoached. There's no ifs and the buts.
Dak did not play well. The defense just decided they just did not want to show up.
I literally don't know. Like, this is not the same defense they ran the whole.
What did Dan Quinn do today?
Dan Quinn didn't do jack shit today.
He just was up in the booth drinking a coffee today. That's all he was doing.
They made Micah Parsons quit.
Like there's nothing that could.
Dylan,
there's not a single redeeming thing I could see of this game. What did it remind you of?
This reminded me of what the Lakers did to the Grizzlies in that clinching game.
Yes.
Like, just completely, y'all are ridiculously gonna get ridiculously embarrassed. You don't show up, we're gonna punk you and laugh at you while we do it. And there's nothing you can do, and there's nothing you can do about it. The Cowboys, the favorite phrase, too much dip on their chip.
Too much dip on your chip. But this is probably, I've seen a lot of bad coaching in my lifetime.
This was bad.
This is probably one of the worst coaching jobs I've seen done. And I don't remember if I said it in the chat or in my other chat with Steven, where you cannot bring McCarthy back, and Dan Quinn also can't come back after this.
They can't go to the locker room. You have to. Jerry should meet them when they leave the field. No, you two, you can't go. Bye.
See, like, Dan, here's your plane ticket to Seattle. You're out. We're not going to say we fired you. We're letting you go.
I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, Dan Quinn, that's perfectly fine for him. That's fine. He's going to get another job.
Yeah, that's
Mike
what
McCarthy
he wanted this job, but then he coached this game like he didn't want to be the head coach here.
Mike McCarthy is the head coach. I'm like, no. I saw him at Green Bay.
He's been waiting for Mike McCarthy to get fired since he was hired.
Yeah, I wanted him gone for the first season.
But that lets you know there's more of a mess in Dallas than right on
Jerry.
You know what I'm saying? Right. I mean, there's Jerry. There's that team. There's a lot of issues there. They need running back help. They're going to need some more wide receiver help, because if you were depending on Michael Gallup and Brandon Cooks to get you back in this game when CeeDee Lamb was still being covered like a cloud,
the best receiver for the Cowboys today, and that says a lot because he was the worst receiver all year.
But like, if you have to depend on those two, your game is over. They were on the bench already, figuring out their Cancun trip. Like, it was done.
This team, I know Steven said it yesterday, this team would benefit so much from having Mike Vrabel as their head coach. A former player who has zero nonsense.
Yes.
Zero nonsense. And he's going to look at his players and be like, what the fuck are you doing?
I mean, at halftime, I thought not Bill Parcells, but Jimmy Johnson was going to put in his number again to be the next head coach.
Jimmy Johnson had me ready to go play. Jimmy Johnson had me ready to fight.
Yeah. So I'm like, 3-point stands. What we doing here? But it's unfortunate. I mean, yes, like Mike said before, there's a lot of things you can say that was wrong with this game, all of the above. But once again, it's still going to come down to, because you are the quarterback for, quite honestly, the most popular team in the NFL. And here it is, another year, you shit or wet the bed. So you didn't prove it again. And it's supposed to be an MVP candidate?
Great. Good thing the MVP is a regular season award.
Yeah, it definitely is, because he will be clearly off the list. immediately after this game, after that first half. So,
that first half was not good. It was not good.
No,
Granted,
the game was over at that point.
What was there? The game was over. He made some fight in the third quarter, but it was already done. And once the defense just didn't do anything, there was no hope for Dak to have that redeeming moment where they could have made something happen. They got aggressive with their play calling too late. It was very reactive and not proactive.
Yes. Mike McCarthy acted like this is the first game he ever coached in the NFL. Like, what are you doing?
And now you got dog walked by the team that had every right to fire you.
Every right to fire you.
And now,
like I said, after that second touchdown from Aaron Jones, literally right up the freaking middle again, that was it. It's like they literally just got punched in the mouth and was like, you're done. Go home and walk it off. Wait, you're already home. So, come on. There were fans already 14-zip walking out of the arena. Like, they knew it.
I tell Dylan this all the time. When you watch the game, you could tell the first series on offense and defense, you could tell how the game's going to go. So if the defense comes on the field first and they just give up a touchdown, I'm like, guess what's about to happen. Then the offense comes on the field and then they don't do anything. They punt. I'm like, his ass whoop is about to come, because it always happens. Either the offense comes out first, 3 and out, and then they put the defense back on the field. They punt the ball, put defense on the field to score. They always get blown out. It's happened in San Francisco. Who else? The same things happen. When you watch the 3 and out happen, or they just don't get in the field goal range or put up any type of points, that's when you know it's going to be an ass whoop. And they tell you it's always the first series on offense and the first series on defense tells you how the game's going to go.
I feel like the more telling thing, I think, for the playoffs at this point is 2 of the best defenses in the NFL got absolutely fucking destroyed in these last 2 games with the Browns and the Cowboys. I'm very interested to what the Niners defense is going to look like. Granted, they have rest and they're getting healthier. I'm very interested in how that team's going to look against this Packers team, because this Packers team all of a sudden has this juice to them where I think they can compete in that game.
Yeah, well, and you also
run the ball.
Different styles, different teams, different weaknesses. Like Cowboys' weaknesses are their linebackers. San Francisco's weaknesses are their corners.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Love's going to have to show up and play big boy ball.
Yeah, Jordan Love's going to have to win him that game, because Warner, Greenlaw, they're gonna come hit. They're gonna come try and send people to the fucking morgue.
I really think they have a chance to really compete in this game, because the Packers have had this like struggle with the NFC West, but that was really just Rodgers. Rodgers, whenever he saw Seattle, whenever he saw San Fran, just like gave up.
It depends. If Shanahan's gonna the weakness of the attack the middle of the field passing, that's where the Packers struggle on their defense to cover, is the middle of the field. And Kittle, Debo, they got to take that first read in the middle of the field. But
that's the thing that's different from what you have from the Cowboys. You literally have CeeDee Lamb, Gallup, and Cooks. That's not the same in San Francisco with Ayuk, Debo, CMC, and Kittle. That's a completely different beast that you have to worry about everybody, every single play. Like,
I'm interested to see if
the one-dimensional team, but like San Francisco is 49% of the time they just run the ball. And can you stop it? Probably not. But then when they go, okay, Debo get in the backfield, CMC, you're at the freaking flanker. Go.
Yeah, it's way too much. I'm not going to say right now who has the edge there, but it'll be a good game. I think they will make it competitive, that being the Packers. But yeah, Jordan will have to win them that game. But that's why San Francisco is the number 1 seed.
I'm very interested to see how Joe Brady or Joe Barry, whatever the fuck his name is, looks at this Niners team, and if he really pays attention to anything that happened in that Ravens game. When you started seeing your edge rushers feint in and then just back up to try to defend the pass behind the line of scrimmage. Because you're not going to get a lot of guys who are going to beat Trent Williams.
Joe Barry likes playing with his safeties back, and that's where you have to attack the middle of the field or run the ball. And
yeah, because if you can make it so they have to attack the middle, you could take those short plays away that McCaffrey and Debo take 45 yards. If you could try to take those away early and force everything in the middle and force the Packers to have to make an adjustment, I'm very interested to see how that goes. Very interested to see if he actually does the work.
They have to make Brock Purdy beat them, which Brock is very capable of throwing up 350 and 3 touchdowns, but he's also very capable of throwing you 2 or 3 picks, though.
You have to make Brock Purdy throw on your terms, not in Shanahan's system, or working the system where he has to come out of system and play.
I would say not even that. If Green Bay can make Brock Purdy throw the ball 35 times or more, Green Bay's going to win that game.
Yes.
I can tell you that right now. He's got to throw more than 35 times. Green Bay's going to win.
That's all. That all comes with you have to stop Christian McCaffrey.
Speed.
He gotta have. If Christian McCaffrey's got 20 carries, he needs to have 20 yards. That's when you got the 35 pass attempts from fucking Brock Purdy. But if CMC is averaging over 4 or 5 yards a carry, it's going to be a hard day.
Definitely is. If that line of scrimmage is not controlled by the Packers, CMC is going to start having a field day. And you don't want him to get started rather quickly because then the game is going to get ugly. Because now they're going to try to just say, oh, we're going to stop CMC. Here comes Ayuk. Here comes Debo. Here comes Kittle.
If you make it a shootout, plus we've seen it before. Like if the Packers receivers they're gonna play like they learn to catch, or they're gonna start dropping the balls again. Because especially if Watson's hamstring's not fucking bothering him, because Watson didn't really. They put Watson in a couple plays because of his hamstring, but if he's got no worries about his fucking hamstring, and that's the deep threat.
And that motherfucker, he's
fast.
so goddamn fast. He's fast as shit. So he's gonna get that ball going where you're not gonna have a chance for Bosa and Young to get to you.
Sometimes he catches us, sometimes he doesn't.
And the way Jordan Love is throwing this football, where he's just flicking it and it's just going 60 yards into the air, like I hate when every time he throws a ball like that, there's like, oh, he looks like Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, but like he does.
Well, sometimes the quarterback's just sitting for a couple of years.
They pick shit up.
You don't have to you don't have to throw them into the fire.
They just pick shit up, and he picked up some of those intangibles.
What you get.
I said this to the group chat earlier. I was like, Jordan Love being traded to the Jets in 2038 is going to hit like crack. Because it'll be the third straight Packer quarterback that gets to us at the end of his fucking career.
That would be hilarious.
And I'll tell. Speaking of a lifetime, Mike, if that happens, 10 years down the road, what a long play.
Roll the tape back circa 2024. Dylan said this.
And it'd just be like, I know this book. I have 2 of these books on my shelves. I'm familiar with the author.
Because the previous 2 held Green Bay hostage. And I'm going to the Jets.
And then they hold the Jets hostage in one way, shape, or form.
Favre retired, then unretired, then played, and then next year he retired again, unretired, and they're like, no, get the fuck out of here. Go to the Jets. Aaron Rodgers last year, I don't know if I'm going to play. I want receivers, blah, blah, blah. Okay, go to the Jets.
That's their default.
Well, we love that everything is going swimmingly on this front.
Steelers Bills. No, we're not going to do Steelers Bills.
Steelers Bills.
Just waiting for everything to clear up, ladies and gents.
Oh, having a technical difficulty.
I didn't know what he meant. I see what he meant now.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's cool. Oh wait, he's back. He's back. No, you're not back.
You're not back.
Am I back?
Yeah. Now
Yes.
you're
Okay.
Yes.
I think because Jaden's on his fucking computer. Beat his ass. Usually that motherfucker's sleeping. Go to bed! I don't know what the last thing that was said because everybody was just circle-faced.
Steelers, Bills.
Steelers, Bills. We already went through it yesterday, but this place is a fucking absolute shit show right now. There's no plan on moving this game again. This game is getting played tomorrow.
Well, have to play it. It's like
travel bans and all. The Steelers arrived today. They arrived safely. There's going to be like nobody in the stands.
Travel bans or Taliban. The Bills haven't lost since they joined Al Qaeda.
It's true.
Nothing's changed for me.
Yeah,
Bills win. Steelers will cover. That's it.
This is one of those just like I thought it was going to be better by tomorrow, and it is just as bad. They were showing videos of people shoveling the stands and falling and sliding all over the place.
Look at the slide. If the only chance, because obviously TJ Watt's not fucking playing, and they already give up a lot of yards to receivers when he's on the field anyway. But the Buffalo does not want you to run the ball on them. And if they could just do that with Warren and Najee Harris and then limit Mason Rudolph to having, if Mason Rudolph throws 40 fucking times, they're losing the game. Buffalo wants you to throw the ball.
Listen, I don't know if anybody's really going to be throwing the ball on this. For all my gamblers out there, I'm probably taking the Josh Allen under for passing yards.
Well, they say it's hard. It's harder to fucking to pass rush in these conditions.
It's also gonna be hard to fucking throw and catch in these conditions.
Well, Josh Allen's arm it's not like Tua. It's not gonna die on him.
No, it's not gonna die. It's just gonna be hard to be. The balls are gonna be hard to be caught.
Yeah.
Right. That's more so the reason for me taking the passing yard under, not because Josh Allen stinks or anything.
It's not like the 8:00 game when the temperature's going to be dropping.
No, but it's going to be 4:30 in this fucking tundra, where the tundra don't care about your feelings.
Over under how many tables going?
How many tables? Oh, all of them. Just whatever the number is, all of them. I love all weekend. It's been because for the safety of the fans, we're gonna postpone the game. Meanwhile, the fans are jumping through flaming tables. They don't care about the safety of themselves. They'll be there. They'll be there. They'll make snowmen for each seat, so it looks like the place is crowded.
No, it's like it has to be played right now. I'm glad that they did take safety first. There's a lot of things going on there in Buffalo that. It will amaze you. One of the offensive linemen of the Bills was being a good Samaritan earlier today, helping guys just stranded out there on the road. So Buffalo, they always help out their team. A couple of seasons ago, they literally helped get out the players from their homes to get on the road, to get to the stadium. So they really care about their team. They're going to make sure they get in there. And finest. Yeah, they're going to make sure they win too. So they're going to make sure of it. It'll be a lot of short passes to Knox and Kincaid. Just keep it like that.
James Cook, anytime touchdown scorer.
Joe Brady's going to go back to using James Cook the way he did when his first 2 games.
Bring Shady McCoy out of retirement playing the snow. Greatest snow running back of all time.
Literally, if you're a running back, you're getting the ball. Oh, but yeah, Shady.
Fournette.
Greatest snow running back of all time, Shady McCoy.
Shout out to Shady. # crazy work.
Crazy work.
Crazy work.
Bucks Eagles. Again, we did all this yesterday. If you're new here for today, thank you for showing up. Appreciate you. The line has moved, Mike.
Oh, what is it?
Plus 2.5.
2.5.
It moved to half a point. Don't worry, I took it at 3. I took it at 3. I took
Did he freeze for you guys?
Yep. Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Okay. I was just making sure. I was like, wait a minute.
I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
I mean, just like to come back saying that. Yes.
Am I back?
Yes,
I'm gonna need you to do the Amarion to your router and just let me hold you. Okay, like get that together.
No, I'm just gonna beat my son's ass. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get him. He's playing fucking Fortnite now.
Oh,
get your fucking ass off Fortnite, Jaden.
You know the priorities.
3.
I know the priority. He does not go to school tomorrow.
As I say, he has no school tomorrow. He can stay up as long as he wants.
Yeah, he's just balling with his friends on Fortnite right now.
Exactly. Let him enjoy life. Dylan.
Not at my expense.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
Not at my expense.
Let him cook.
Daddy takes priorities.
Fuck them kids.
Matter of fact, give him the card. Get him some Fortnite points or whatever they call it. Like
no, did I ever tell you all the story about how when Jaden was 7, I didn't have like passwords on my PlayStation thing, and he was playing Minecraft, and I was sitting there in like the kitchen playing Overwatch on my computer, and all of a sudden at like I wasn't really paying attention. It was like 1 a.m. And all of a sudden, my email just goes ring, 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 ring. Dude spent $200 on Minecraft purchases.
They add up. Big Mike V-Bucks, all that. It adds up quick.
And I got up and I just yelled, "You motherfucker!" You motherfucker!
Because those are non-refundable. It's not like you can call Microsoft or something and say, "Hey, my child did this."
Back. PlayStation hooked me up. They hooked me up.
Oh wow!
And they gave it back.
You must have got a nice person on the phone because they'll like
because it was a minor. Because a minor made the purchases, and you could tell on like my thingy that I don't play Minecraft. So like you could tell based on just hours played, that ain't me.
Now if he could have got away with it, he would have switched it to like Madden or 2K. Yeah,
I'd have been screwed. I would have been screwed. But no, I was like, I did not buy these. I did not buy these random skins in Minecraft. The fuck? That was not me. So
not the random skins.
Yeah. So no, fuck that. I priority.
Still Eagles. Still going Eagles. Fly Eagles fly. Fly Eagles fly.
I can't go with the Real Housewives of Philadelphia. I'm sorry, I just can't. They are really going through it. We're gonna find out more after their season is over tomorrow. It's ugly.
It's T.O. Donovan all over again. And plus his fingers fucked up. He hasn't thrown the ball all fucking week. It's getting bad. If Matt Patricia is going to take fucking, oh my God, Hassan Reddick and not rush him, cover the wide receivers with him, they're going to freaking lose the game.
I know I picked the Eagles on the podcast. For our purposes talking, I'm taking the Bucks, even though I've already taken the Bucks +3 because I believe in them.
I'm taking the Bucks.
I think they can win this game. I think they can win this game. And I've always been a believer. When I saw this matchup, I was like, I think the Bucks can win this fucking game.
They're fucking collapsing. Their defense is atrocious. It's like the wide receiver drama. He's not playing. Now, I have no problem with him. They got him at the fights yesterday. I'm like, well, he's not playing. Why does it matter if he's at the fights or not? I never won like that doesn't matter to me. He's already out. He's not playing. Why does he have to be with the team? Remember when that shit happened with like Le'Veon Bell and the Jets, where they whatchamacallit, he wasn't playing.
Yeah, and he was out, and there everybody's all up in arms. I'm like, he's out.
He went out, and I'm like, what's the big deal? He's not playing tomorrow anyway. Who cares?
He doesn't need his hamstring to just be out. He doesn't need his hamstring to just be out and about.
Hamstring to go bowling.
Like, dude's not playing tomorrow. Why do we care what he's doing?
Why do we care if he's bowling if he's not playing? They already scratched him for the game.
And then if they lose, AJ Brown was a huge distraction to the Eagles. No, he was not. No,
he was
exactly.
He was not. How was he distracting them? They ruled him out freaking Wednesday. He's not playing. Why does it matter? All he did was go to a fight. We can't watch a fight. He's not playing.
But here's the bigger question. Let's go with it because only Mike is picking the Eagles. So let's say the Bucks do this, and Baker Mayfield gets his progressive points and moves on to the next round. Is Sirianni fired on Tuesday?
If they play like Dallas did, he's fired. I can tell you that.
They're already collapsing. So it's like
this Eagles team can't lose. If this Eagle team loses in the first round, you really have to consider firing him.
No, it's ridiculous, but he's gonna get fired if they lose tomorrow.
Because it starts with that collapse. They were 10-1,
which is honestly that makes this even more ridiculous to me. But I understand that he's going to get fired if they lose.
If you were 10-1,
the wheels fell off, and they don't know how to act.
Yeah, you were 10-1.
And he'd get fired. I don't think if they were to be competitive in these last 6 weeks, because they lost 5 out of 6. If they would be competitive in the last 6 weeks, still lose, and then go into this and lose, I don't think he would be fired. It's the way they're losing and the way they're acting. This team is acting like this is like they exploded, blow it up, everything, and nobody here knows what they're doing. Nothing. Even Jason Kelsey on his podcast is just like they don't know how to deal with it.
He fit and left.
They don't know how to deal with the adversity, and that's the head coach.
They played the Giants last week. The Giants whooped their ass and made them quit. They were up 3 scores on the Cardinals, and they blew it.
This is like they're going through the Anthony arc right now. When the tough get going, we leave. When the going gets tough, we leave.
It always comes back to Anthony.
But it's true. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. But when the going gets tough, we get going. We don't want to deal with that. We don't know how to deal with this. We're winners. We win.
If you the season with that blowing the win against Arizona, and then quitting against the Giants, and then you just lose the first round Tampa Bay.
And then they're all going to be pouty. If they go down in this game, just pay attention to the body language of everybody on the sidelines. If the body language is anything other than we need to get our shit together and let's fucking go out there and play some football, and they're all just kind of just.
I think half of the team's already. I think half the team already checked out. I think they're all ready to go on vacation. To be honest with you, they want this gone. AJ Brown's not playing.
If they go down and that body language is dog shit, Sirianni's out of there. Now it's just all right, who's going to be the coach? We're going to
see how much they love this coach. We're going to see how much they love this coach because they're playing for his job.
I'm very interested on who would be the next head coach of this team.
Vrabel will probably be at the top of the list, or at least
Vrabel would be perfect for that.
Vrabel will be perfect for any of these teams, these contenders, these good teams that have a job opening. He's the perfect candidate for the Cowboys. He's a perfect candidate for the Eagles. Now, let's say Vrabel just doesn't exist in this scenario, right? Because obviously he's going to be number one. I thought Belichick would be better for Philly than they would be for Dallas.
I mean, that would fit his narrative. I'm not going to an AFC team, but we know that's not going to happen. He would prefer not to be with an AFC team out of respect, but you got the Philadelphia Bulldogs down there in Philly. It makes it kind of
also
if Bill could do anything, he can fix that defense. If any, Bill can fix that defense.
But here's the thing: do you give Belichick a GM role?
No, not with
Howie Roseman there. No,
right. You just gotta have him as a coach, and he's probably gonna want both, and you can't give it to him. That's why I said the Chargers are probably the best bet.
I think Belichick, he's got to figure out at this stage in his career just coach.
Well, here's the thing: Howie Roseman's a good GM.
Really good GM.
Very good.
Howie Roseman's a good GM. You can't just say, all right, fuck you, Howie. You drafted 3 Hall of Famers on the offensive line. You've drafted Jalen Hurts. You drafted Devontae Smith. You drafted X, Y, and Z. You're going to throw that away because Bill wants it, and Bill's track record for the last, I don't know, 5 years drafting anybody isn't really good.
Pure trash.
Go 10 years. 10 years hasn't really been great.
Yeah.
I agree. But
it's just like, okay, like let Bill give you input on defense, on the players he wants, because he's great at finding those guys, great at finding the undrafted guys later on. He can make all of that work. Granted, like taking Kyle Duggar where he took him in the second round all those years ago ends up now looking great because Kyle Duggar's a good player, but the reach for Duggar is incredible. That's why you can't let him draft. You can't let him draft 6th round talents out of Division II schools.
Did you
for what?
The N'Keal Harry piece where the scouts were like, when AJ Brown and Deebo Samuel were there, and he's like, no, he refused to listen to the scouts or anything, and he just went with N'Keal Harry
because he felt like they didn't take the trip seriously.
Yeah, because AJ Brown and Deebo Samuel, when they visited New England, they didn't take the visit to New England seriously.
Because who wants to play in New England?
So he went
who wants to play up there?
Because then they went and took easily the worst wide receiver out of the, I think, 15 taken.
We have a friend, I believe, for 2 years. I was going through the last 2 drafts, all the receivers he passed up on.
Steven, Mike knows Hunter, so we don't have to hide who it is.
Hunter's my guy.
Mike worked with us, so Mike knows Hunter.
I said him, these are the receivers you could have had.
And we listed literally 15 receivers taken from rounds 1, because there's only, I think, 2 of them.
Well,
Marquise Brown and N'Keal Harry.
Then later.
Yeah, they got taken later. So from the 1st round to the 7th round, all of the receivers were better than N'Keal Harry. And that's including like guys like Dante Pettis. Because Dante Pettis is better than N'Keal Harry.
Yeah. That's saying a lot, but yeah.
That draft, you're like,
yeah. Belichick has never drafted a 1,000-yard receiver.
That's why, honestly, when I saw that Mayo was named the head coach within like 24 hours, I was like, oh, yep, that's not going to change. Nobody's still going to New England. Great. Perfect. They don't even think to try to get out of that.
It's a good hire, though. I think Mayo's a good hire. Mayo's going to be able to relate to those guys in a different way.
I think so, but they're still with the Patriot way. I wanted Kraft to really open it up because you're going to still suffer in free agency. You're still going to suffer.
The Patriot way doesn't exist, and I think the best way to...
You hit a button.
The Patriot way doesn't exist, and I think the best way for them to get out of the Patriot way is to have a player who played in that system, who understand that, like, we had Brady. You guys don't have Brady. We can take what I had there, and we can fuck with it and make it a modern way to look at football. That's why I think Mayo is a good hire. Take the good things from the system.
Mayo's not evaluating talent. He's just coaching, right? He's not players.
Yeah.
So.
He's not the GM.
Who's going to be the GM?
They're looking internally.
To be determined.
They were interviewing the assistant Niners GM.
And he went to Washington.
So they did thing.
Yeah.
And before they hire a coach before they hire a GM.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me they did?
See what I'm saying? The same Patriot way. I mean, I understand it's in his contract. He was the one that's supposed to success him over and everything like that, but it doesn't scream to any free agent out there that, hey, New England is a viable target. It still screams same old.
It won't be until you see them play.
Yeah,
and if you see them play, and Mayo has those guys like bawling, and he's showing emotion on the sideline, showing that it's different, that's when it will change.
They also have a lot of work
because you can't expect. Yeah, they have a lot of work to do, and I don't believe Gerard Mayo is an asshole in the same way that Josh McDaniels is, or Matt Patricia.
You would
where they both
not.
step into their jobs. I would hope not. I don't think he is because he's a former player.
Yeah, and what's his staff going to look like? They still got it. They need quarterbacks. They need wide receivers.
They need help anywhere. Where
and I think
at number 3, they could go anywhere.
If they make it a tough place to play with the level of talent that they get, that will attract. Again, it's Bill's gone. That regime is really gone because Bill's sons aren't going to be on the staff. That Mayo's picking everybody from scratch. So we can expect a modern offense. We can expect like decent new coaches, probably a bunch of young guys, probably a lot of former players who are going to be on that staff. So I'm very interested on what they do. Like now that Belichick and Brady are gone, I could repurpose my hate elsewhere because the guys that I hated and that ruined my life are gone. So I can now look at them in a more like unbiased way. Now I can just go back to hating my actual rival in the Dolphins. But with the Patriots, I can look at them and be like, hey, they have the lack of Tua turn the ball over. They don't have a ton of talent, but they can be turned around. It can be turned around if the correct leader is involved, and it's all going to start from the GM. If they can get themselves a good GM from a good front office, then I'll know if they're taking this seriously or not. If they're going to promote from within on GM, they're screwed.
Yeah, the two teams I'm looking at as far as offseason to see what they do is obviously the Patriots and Atlanta Falcons. Because there's talent there, and Atlanta is a coach and a quarterback from, being a playoff team, and then how they progress. The way Arthur Smith misused his wide receiver, tight end, and running back. Plus, he really didn't have a quarterback neither. And what quarterback free agencies, if they try to go after like a Kirk Cousins over there, bring him over to Atlanta, who's going to be the head coach? Or
Kirk probably wouldn't even be ready to start practicing until like after the season started, because he got normal 8 to 12 month Achilles surgery. He didn't get the speed up thing for it, and he got injured in November.
He didn't get the Aaron Rodgers special.
No, he didn't.
He did not. November.
He did not pay the extra $5. He didn't pay the $5.
Like
Dylan didn't pay the extra $5 either. He's still mad.
Yeah.
Knowing how
he'd miss most of training camp.
Wow. I mean, Atlanta, aren't they in the top 10 in drafting? I think they're like number 8, maybe.
Well, they also could have won the NFC.
I'm lagging. I don't know what's happening. You guys are making fun of me.
No.
No, not yet. No.
Atlanta, if they had beat the Saints and Tampa Bay lost, they would have won the NFC South. It's just the NFC South predicament. You either win or you're in the top 10.
It's one of those things where, like, they got the talent, like you said. They got Drake London. They have Kyle Pitts. You have Bijan. They just need that competent quarterback and head coach combination. I mean, to be honest with you, I know it's not going to be Russell Wilson. Big Mike, we discussed that before. He's not going to Atlanta for obvious pop culture reasons. But somebody... I mean, I could see into the future. I'll just leave it at that. But it's got to be somebody to come in there and probably bridge the gap for at least a year. I think they're too far away from getting one of the top quarterbacks in the draft. So they're going to have to look at free agency. Who's there? It's not the greatest, but somebody to bridge the gap for a year, I think they can find out. That's an upgrade over Riddler.
You call Chicago and offer something for Justin Fields and see how he would do with them.
That would be the thing, especially if they go number 1 and take Caleb. That would be your thing right there. Plug him in right there. He has the most weapons he's ever had in his career. Done.
Because
Mike, it's almost like we're watching the pod all over again.
if you can't, because if you get a bridge, how long is that bridge going to be? Because then you're going to have to pay Pitts, London, and then Bijan eventually at some point.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, a guy like that would probably be perfect for them. And just which head coach would it be? I wouldn't be surprised if Ron Rivera pops up again.
No way.
No, he's done. He's done.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He's cooked.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He's cooked.
Take another defense coordinator job. Like
he's cooked.
It's not good right now.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't be surprised.
Ever. But 4 appearances in the playoffs.
Somehow he takes stuff, and I guess the past couple of years hasn't been that great for him, but I wouldn't be surprised. The coaching carousel in the NFL always give you that one that makes you scratch your head. Always. So. And they got weapons, so we should see.
I've returned again. After being sent to the Shadow Realm for the millionth time. All right.
Or not.
Again. Somebody get a pic of that, please.
Kid's ass.
Please, somebody get a pic of that.
Underdog put that on a t-shirt.
It looks like Seth Rollins is about to make an entrance. That's what it looked like there for a second.
I'm going to beat this fucking kid's ass. You know what? We've talked about everything we need to talk about tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. DJ, appreciate you for stopping by. Always a pleasure. Right. Always invited. Mike, the honorary Barretto boy. You could tell because he looks just like me and Steven. Always welcome on the show. We only have a few more of these going into the season before the season goes off, but we'll be here. Our time off is done. There's work to be had. Appreciate you all. We'll see you next week.